So Paw Patrol. So I watched Paw Patrol. It was great. Well, like not really. It was fine. I liked all the bright colors. It had a nice song that like little kids could probably sing to death or whatever. And the story was like fine. It, like wasn't trash. It wasn't a masterpiece. It was like a solid movie. And apparently like this is a sequel to the first Paw Patrol movie in 2021, and they're like planning a third one to come out in 2025. And I was googling a bunch of information about this movie like to make this video and stuff, and I kept on like hitting results for a 2021 movie, and like this one specifically, the sequel is the Mighty movie, and the first one is just the movie, and which like feels like a confusing thing for marketing. Like the titles are so similar. Like, I get it. Like you want to have the word movie in there so like parents know that it's a movie, not just like a regular TV show. But it's like weird because like the kids are just gonna say like, oh, Paw Patrol, anyways, and it's like confusing for no good reason. But that was just something that was weird. Anyways, like this movie had a budget of like $30 million, made 167 million, which is pretty good, like pretty profitable. And I think like yeah, we'll just keep seeing more Paw Patrol movies, especially if like they have returns like that. And I contributed a hefty like $7.25 to that, so I really did my due diligence in supporting the franchise. But anyways, back to my extremely thorough video essay thesis on Paw Patrol, the Mighty movie. Uh, so basically, the main character is this small dog named Sky, and her only character trait is that like she's small and weak and small. And I know it's like just a kids movie or whatever, but like her whole thing doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like you're weak and you're small and she feels bad, and like sure maybe there's like a place to talk about that in like some other world, but like she is literally one of like the Avengers of this world, and you're unable to do stuff or like save people. Like that's like a problem. Like and like maybe that does mean you gotta like stay behind on the mission, and maybe that's like kind of where it just needs to end, right? And there's like just this weird like theme that they try to have like about how no pup is too small, and like there's this cute little flashback of how like Sky was the runt of her litter. Even though like visually, I think they did a terrible job of like showing that she was the runt. Like she was just barely smaller than the other dogs in her litter, and like honestly, when she's standing next to the other pups, in Paw Patrol, like she doesn't look much smaller. But anyways, flashback. She never gets adopted because she's a runt. And Ryder like comes looking to adopt, but he doesn't adopt her, and like she's mad, and Sky decides like she's had enough. She decides to like run away from the place, and she's like running outside. She's like running in the snow, trying to catch up to Ryder, and she's small and like she's like a freaking puppy, like reading like she can't run in the snow. It's like it's cold, and so like she passes out or whatever, and like Ryder comes and rescues her. But like at the end of the movie, like when Sky needs motivation to like destroy some like meteors in the sky, like there's a little montage of her like going and like thinking about the flashbacks of her like running in the snow, and like the music swells, and it's supposed to be like this big motivational moment, and it's like ah yay, like don't give up, like no pup is too small, but like in the context of the flashback, like she was too small. Like the last time she tried to do that, like and put her mind to it, like she failed. She fell in the snow. She needed rescuing. So it was like weird. Like nothing like terribly wrong with the arc, but like just the execution was messy. Like it just didn't make sense all the time. But I don't think like that's the main problem. I think this movie should have focused on Liberty. So like Liberty is the Dachshund, who's like a new member of the Paw Patrol apparently, which like I had no idea about until I googled it, and like if anything, she seemed to be like one of like the older, wiser pups in like Paw Patrol. Like I don't know, like maybe it was the voice acting or like the weird fixation on how like small Sky is, but like I definitely thought Liberty was like a veteran. Like she just sounded, gave off that vibe. But basically, Liberty, she's the B plot of the movie. She like doesn't get powers when everyone else gets the powers with the crystals. She has to stay behind on the missions because no powers. And Ryder gives her like the task of training some like junior rangers or whatever, and she trains them well. And like at the end, the junior rangers help, and like she gets elasticity powers, and like it's all like good and whatever. And there's like hints of Liberty overworking the rangers or like being too mean or too strict with like a instructor, and like maybe it's because like she's bitter about like not getting powers, like trying to live vicariously through them or whatever. It's like a simple classic storyline. There's a lot of storylines like that. But I think it's like probably more interesting than like the whole like, oh, I'm small, this sucks, I'm sad, like storyline that we did with Sky. And also like the idea of like receiving no powers is interesting. And like of course they couldn't like hold on to that. You had to like give them powers at the end. But like there's like I think like good lessons to be learned in like realizing that maybe you're not special, or like maybe you're not unique, or like maybe you don't get like what you want. And like she doesn't get powers, so she has to stay behind. Like and like that's probably like not the place to share this message. Like I don't think a movie like Paw Patrol like this would ever share that. Like you want like that good feeling, and like people to walk out of the theater like being all like, oh yay, like and to have your like kids pumped up to like have those powers and like buy the merch or whatever. But like kids like do need to learn that they're not special. Like I work with preschoolers, and like a lot of them need to know and learn that like they don't deserve uniqueness, or like sometimes things don't go your way, and like sometimes you do everything right or nothing wrong, and like it still doesn't work out, and like it's just unfair like that sometimes. Um, and I think that's something that like I like about Monsters University. It's like literally about how Mike is just not good enough, and like some people just aren't built like that, and like you're just not, and like being okay with that and like accepting that and realizing that. Because everyone says everyone is special, I mean that's like really not true. Very few people are special. But yeah, like it's fine. It's like not that deep. It's a kids movie. Like the movie was cool. Like I really did enjoy it. Like the super suits that the pups had, they were like overly saturated and like really colorful and like popped off the screen. That was like a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. And then Zuma, which is one of the dogs, who was like a very minor dog. Like he had the water power. I think he was like the water rescue pup, and then he got the water powers where he can like turn into water and also like shoot water from his paws. Like, and yeah, like he could transform into it, like travel around like that. Like that is such an awesome power. Like the action scene capabilities with that is so cool. Like in this movie or like in just like different media, like just imagine like hopping off of like a building and then turning into water that just kind of like flows and shoots across and like dodges through like someone's like punches or attacks and then it comes on the other side. It's like very similar to like how Ant-Man could work with like jumping around and shrinking and growing and then going back and forth between these two like states. And honestly, I thought that was really cool. That really piqued my imagination more than like I'd care to admit. But Paw Patrol, it was fun, kind of, mostly. But yeah, there's my 6 minutes of thoughts on Paw Patrol. I don't know if I'll pay money to watch the one in 2025, but I don't know. We'll see. In 2 years, maybe I'll make another video. But yeah, bye.